everybody. I'm Joe. This is Matt. We are Robot Pool Party, bringing to you the nerdy news of the past week, like we are prone to do, as is our inclination.
We just talk about stuff that happens.
It's easy.
You know what I mean? Like,
Laid back.
if it wasn't like midnight, I'd be like, let's just have some coffee.
That's something we should really establish. It never seems like we're like out of it, or conversely, if it seems like we're way too into it. We filmed this at about 11:30 at night, right after a long day of hero clicks and other various.
I was at the gym at 5 o'clock this morning, so.
And at 5 o'clock this morning, I was just going to bed.
See, I mean,
It's been a long day for both of us.
been at work all day. I had to actually go in. I didn't get to work from home. Like when I work from home, I get to work in PJs, and it's all relaxing, and I can take a nap over my lunch break and all that fun stuff. But nope, they're like, come into work. We've got an important meeting. But they fed us, so that was pretty cool.
All right, what'd they feed you?
What they fed us, which was okay.
Which is rad.
What? I don't know. Like the franchise here, like pissed me off. Like the first opening week. So,
What?
oh well, like I came in. I was like, hey, I've never been here before. Whatever. So.
So you had to figure out their bizarre system of ordering.
No, I was like, I've never been here before. What's good? They told me, and I was like, that sounds great. Let me get this right going, right? I get ready to pay with my credit card, and he goes, oh, our computer's down. And I'm like, well, all I have is a credit card. And he's like, oh, my computer's down, right?
So?
And now, if I wasn't establishing myself as a restaurant, I'd be like, okay, we'll write this one off. We'll get customers' favor, right? No, he sits and waits for freaking 30 minutes. And I'm like, you know what? Forget this. I'm out. I mean, customer service in restaurants is most important. That'll make and break restaurants. So, like, Rich Witch had just pissed me off right there.
Well, while I feel for you and your trying time, they also make the best freaking milkshakes in the area.
I didn't get a milkshake because they didn't have credit cards.
Well, that's fine and good. I get your pain. I understand it. Christmas Day, I stayed outside of a Sonic restaurant for a half hour to get an order of wings that they said was going to take 5 minutes. But it was okay because I had nowhere to go.
Because you had Christmas wings.
Yeah, I had
No,
nowhere to go, so it was all right. But it was packed, crazy packed.
really? Sonic at Christmas?
I know.
Dude,
I was like not the only loser. That's just like, I'm gonna have Sonic for Christmas. That's gonna be my holy days. I'm gonna get a burger and wings.
well, that's how I communicate with God. But you know what? You know what's open on Christmas? There's an all-you-can-eat Japanese food buffet. Like last year when I didn't get to go home, I ate sushi for Christmas. All the sushi I could possibly eat. It was amazing.
And it came back to life in your stomach. It
No,
started
because-
worming out one of those weird tentacles outside the mouth.
So one of those people that are too scared to try sushi.
Well, I have a
Sushi's
problem with
the
eating
most
something that's
amazing food in
merely
the world.
unconscious.
Wait, tentacle people, you talking about like Unity, that episode of like the Superman cartoon?
Yeah. There we go.
There we go.
That's
They were all like Unity.
Whatever.
actually, I have nothing
Nerds.
against sushi.
The sushi is so amazing. If you're scared to try it, well then good, don't try it. That's more sushi for me.
All right. I think if you do try sushi, you should definitely try to find the cheapest place that you can buy sushi. Like if you can find like a disreputable grocery store that sells sushi in like a warm glass case that's just sitting there for hours on end, that's probably the best way to find it.
And that's where I'll put the disclaimer. Don't ever listen to Joe. I'll put that underneath while he's ranting so that we don't have to worry about people being like, you got me diarrhea. And I'm like, you got freaking sushi from
And I'll be like,
7-Eleven.
you're lucky that's all you got, because you ate sleeping fish. Again, it's like 11:30. We're out of it. It feels worse than usual.
What?
It's like weird. We got like a miasma around us.
Well, we got good
butchered
news.
the pronunciation of that word.
Well, no one's going to be able to pronounce that word anyway. That's one of those words like, miasmia? What?
Miasma.
Miasma.
It's one of those words I only see in Final Fantasy games, and that's about it. Anyways,
Anyway, Marvel Universe, as everyone's been predicting, will be rebooting. We will be rebooting in April with the event Secret Wars.
it's going to be called Marvel. What's the freaking point?
I understand why they're doing it. They want to align the comics books with the movie line so that when people who like the movies, which have been really good, will be able to hop onto their favorite comic book, and they don't have to worry about, when Captain America feuded with Gambit. No one has to worry about that kind of stuff. I did find it kind of interesting that DC has a giant event in April as well that I hopefully will reboot their universe. Come on. It's been a couple of years. They reboot them every once in a while.
I would like to have a reboot that reverts to what we had before.
I like to have a reboot that just like Nifty 2 was a dream.
Yes. I want Renee Montoya back, and I want her to be dating that woman again, because that was a great story. They were cool characters together. But no, it's going to be bad. It's going to be the usual litany of crap that we've gotten to be used to from the big two.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's another like really weird thing is that the last episode, Joe and I both commented how the Silk, the Spider-Man character, was getting her own offshoot in February.
Yep.
Well, do we pick it up? It's getting rebooted in 2 months anyway. And I'm like, well, I mean, is there really a point? Like, I was looking at a bunch of Marvel magazines that came out today, and I'm like, should I care?
So are they going to be like rebooting like the Female Thor, the Falcon Captain America?
Yeah, they're rebooting everything. So like, they're like, oh Sam, we promoted you. Psych! Reboot!
That is just absolutely terrible because it
Wolverine's
literally lasted
not
like a
dead.
couple months.
Yeah, I mean that was happening. I mean, they're like, we're killing Deadpool, and I'm like, really?
Please, can we?
No, you're not. You didn't just kill your biggest moneymaker, then you're gonna kill your second biggest moneymaker. You know, I mean, you're wasting. Yeah.
In all
Yeah,
fairness,
so-
this is a reboot of the universe. They started in 1961.
That
It's their
isn't.
first major reboot, and Marvel's about as old as DC was when they did Crisis on Infinite Earths. So maybe it's a natural thing to happen at this age.
It's
in the
kind of a shame
company.
because I actually really like the female and I like Falcon America. So it's kind of a shame to be losing those as soon as we get them.
And it kind of feels like a tease because you don't just reboot a universe willy-nilly. It's like, oh, let's just give him Falcon as Captain America. Oh, no, you know.
And let's lose Carol Danvers as Captain Marvel. That sucks because I like her as Captain Marvel.
I think she'll come back as Captain Marvel because they're giving her a movie as Captain Marvel, and I think they're rebooting to align it as the movie, you know, more movie universe. So like I think.
We'll see. I mean, only time will tell.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
But so like, what do we do in the meantime? Do I just like blow off Spider-Man? Like, do I just blow off books, Marvel books right now?
probably not a bad idea. It's never a bad idea to not buy comics.
I mean, well, we called it, so
Yeah.
And you're going.
We got Suicide Squad, Batman.
Go for it. Go for it. This is you're the lead monkey on this wagon train. Go for it.
Did you hear that? I'm in charge. Yeah. Anarchy riots in the street.
If you're
How
in
can
charge,
you be in charge and
then
there
there's-
be anarchy?
Yeah, that's
Look, I don't think a lot of things through. Anyway,
Be a
good news.
matocracy.
Like most anarchists.
Metocracy.
matocracy.
The rumor is going around there'll be a possible Batman appearance or cameo in the Suicide Squad movie. I kind of like this idea because it lends forward the idea they're going to start with Harley being captured and then introduced to the Suicide Squad. Because then I think it's a good jumping on point for the audience because they can surrogate through Harley so they can explain everything through Harley. And
Using her as a narrative tool is a really good idea. So yeah, I hope that like it just starts with her getting arrested, and that's all that we see of Batman. That's all we see of Joker. I really don't want Suicide Squad to just be Batman and Joker doing Batman and Jokery things. So-
I'm hoping it's not. I'm hoping Joker is just a cameo for bringing good things, bringing the rest of the DC universe. I mean, we've talked about this a lot because obviously I do care if the DC cinema movie universe sucks or not, and so far I don't have a lot of faith that it's not gonna suck.
No.
But like the Suicide Squad was like a big hopeful for because they cast major actors and they seem to be giving it some seriousness to characters that I generally enjoy. So we hope this extra Batman rumor is true and hopes it lends more weight to the Suicide Squad movie.
Yeah. Not optimistic.
Yeah, that was a very like patronizing. Yeah.
I'm not very optimistic about many things.
Yeah.
Like even things I like. So you can imagine how optimistic I am about things I don't like. It's all right.
Fair enough. Can we get a sigh for a good Suicide for Will Smith as Deadshot?
I'll give it.
Do you like ending stuff that way? I kind of like it. I think it's our sigh.
It's fine. It's fine.
You don't have to, dude. We'll just see what goes okay.
Like I think what we should do is we should gauge the tone of the sigh depending on what we talked about. Like if we're talking about like I don't know Carl Urban or I don't know Scarlett Johansson or whatever you guys are into these days.
Whatever the kids like.
That's what we can give a dreamy sigh. But if we're talking about like the DC movie, I think the sigh should be more like
No, I get it, dude. I totally get that, dude. Because like, I can't imagine it not being a disaster.
It needs to be like this Louis C.K. level sigh, where it's just like the world is misery.
Yeah, we just give up on everything.
So
I mean, can we like reason
punchline is doesn't even use words. It's just a sigh.
Just like, oh god. It can have like half words. Like, God.
It's like one of those words that are like please for death. You know, it's like please let this sigh be my last exhale.
Let there be no more suffering.
This one has been making people excited all week. So George Lucas has said that Disney got rid of every idea he had for Episode 7. And people have just been like on the internet, yes! And just excited and just laughing at him. And like, I know he meant to say it like people are going to be like, oh no, we needed his visionary. But did he not watch the prequels? I don't think he did.
With George Lucas not having any say in the new movies, hope has been restored. They might be good movies. Their chances of being good movies are significantly higher now that George Lucas is not involved. And I persist that the prequel trilogies, they were bad. They had good components. But I really think that the good components were not because of George Lucas. I feel like George Lucas was the guy that was like, we need Vader as an angsty teenager. We need to see Boba Fett as a little babbo. We just, like, that was George Lucas. And I'm sure there was a lot of people who's like, dude, we can make toys off of new designs.
Yeah.
We don't have to rehash every character. Yeah, so no Lucas in the new Star Wars. Awesome.
Yep. I also found out that J.J. Abrams was the one that wanted to focus on the original 3 instead of focusing on younger characters. And I'm like...
Well, when you say the original 3, you mean the original 3 characters.
Yeah,
the
Han, Luke,
new characters.
Han, Luke, and Leia.
Oh, okay.
With the original actors.
Okay.
So instead of focusing on the younger characters, the ones they've teased in the... like, he wants to keep the focus on old people. And,
I don't like that.
I read was probably the only time I want to see old people doing stuff. Red 2, maybe. Expendables, no.
You know, my roommate will glare at me for bashing the Expendables, but I didn't like them. I mean, for what they are, they're fun, and I like some of the actors in them, but bad movies, and I think Stallone is just utterly talentless. Especially when you combine him with other people that are utterly talentless, like Jean-Claude Van Damme and Chuck Norris.
He said Jason Statham.
Jason Statham is good.
Yes.
Terry Crews was the best part about those movies. But Terry Crews generally has a way of being the best thing about anything that he's in. Like, yeah, I want to see a movie where Terry Crews and Carl Urban team up to solve mysteries.
Dude, can they have a motorboat, a speedboat?
They can have a speedboat that talks.
It should be an airboat.
And the voice of the speedboat will be H. John Benjamin.
Oh, I'm sold. Hollywood.
That's it.
Hollywood.
Yep. Crews, Urban, Benjamin.
Benjamin the boat.
Yeah, we're called Benjamin the Boat.
The related news, Harrison Ford is still committed to making an Indiana Jones 5. He's going to be 80 when the trilogy finishes filming.
The trilogy?
Yes.
The new trilogy.
The new trilogy. He's going to be 80. 80. Do you guys want to see an 80-year-old Indiana Jones? No, dude. Did you want to see the 60-year-old Indiana Jones? No, that was miserable.
Harrison Ford already looks like he's melting.
He hurt. Okay,
It looks like he saw the Ark and it just took 40 years to take effect. Like, that was all real, and just he resisted it for a little bit.
Yeah, it's... I'm sorry, dude. Just, like, recast those roles. Please recast those roles. We love the characters. We're gonna like them if we're not totally really bad recast.
They missed their chance because he's too old now, but whenever Brendan Fraser really hit it, he could have been a good Indiana Jones. The Mummy movies are very close.
Oh
to
I totally agree. They were surprisingly good. I was really surprised. They look stupid. It's one of those things where the trailer made it look stupid as all get off. Yeah, it was surprisingly good.
But anyway, if I could rant a little bit about Indiana Jones, because it's actually relevant. Because after me and some friends finished the Star Wars movies, we've begun the Indiana Jones movies. And we just finished Last Crusade, so next up is Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I have theories though of what could have made Kingdom of the Crystal Skull better. Now everybody says Shia LaBeouf. Get rid of him. Yeah, absolutely agree. But not only that, get rid of Mutt's character, replace it with Indiana Jones's true son, Short Round.
Hell yeah!
Short Round kicked all kinds of butt in Temple of Doom. Just in rewatching it, there's a scene where he ninja kicks one guy and it takes out 5 guys. Short Round was awesome.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, he's such a likable character. I thought he was great. Temple of Doom's my favorite movie.
Oh, I mean, it's a great movie. It's definitely the best of the 3. I'm going to go on the line then saying that Crusade was not as bad as everybody makes it out to be.
I like Crusade.
I like Crusade too.
I thought Crusade was better than Temple of Doom. I'm the one guy that thought it was the worst of the trilogy, though I like
We're auditioning new cameramen.
Well, a lot of people say Temple of Doom's the worst and they cite Short Round, which I don't get, but they also cite
Round is not
the girl.
They cite Willie.
Yeah.
Willie is what they accuse of being the worst movie, and I
can see that.
Willie is not a good character, especially when you can compare her to I think Ava from the 3rd movie and Marion from
Well, you can't compete with Marion. Marion's gonna wreck your face.
Marion is just great all around. And I like things about Last Crusade because they brought Marcus Brody and he was great. Like his friend from the museum that was just kind of so out of place. And they bring John Rhys Davies back as Solo, but just can't compete with Short Round. Put him in the next movie.
Yes, dude. Reboot with Short Round.
Yep. The Adventures of Short Round.
All right, so good news for all y'all Milestone Comics fans, and as a giant Static fan, I'm glad to hear this. They will be returning. There's no official word on which comics will come back or when they'll even start publishing, but just the fact that it's out there, and the fact that DC has done nothing with Static, except for a couple of allusions, especially in the Aquaman's Vacation episode of Brave and the Bold, and. Dude, that cartoon was great. That cartoon was fabulous. Static cartoon, and I think that we deserve another shot. I mean, we deserve wisecracking teenagers with Magneto's power, dude.
I like Static. I'd be happy to see a new series return with him.
So, I mean, that's huge stuff out there, and I'm hoping soon we'll see we'll cross our figures. And, of course, I'm going to be keeping an eye out for Static news. So.
Okay.
So DreamWorks Animation has, I guess they went through some job losses thing. Layoffs, that's the word.
I gotta take my glasses off for this one because
it hurts so badly.
It really, really hurts.
I can't tell if he's being facetious or not.
No, I adore Pixar, and I think this is terrible news.
This isn't Pixar.
DreamWorks.
Yes.
Oh, so it's good news.
Yeah.
It's still bad news, but it's bad news in a good way. All right, let's lock this out.
I was like, why are you so upset?
Because I thought, for some reason, I had the mental disconnect. I thought we were talking about Pixar because DreamWorks has made a career out of copying Pixar.
Yeah, I mean, how is Pixar gonna make? Pixar is basically printing money.
Pixar has made a couple of really crappy sequels, which is why I thought maybe that's why.
Oh no!
Because they did Monsters Academy and they did Planes.
That's because it's another one of the things of Dane Cook talking himself into better things than he should be. That movie, Employee of the Month, where he's trying to sleep with Jessica Simpson because she only sleeps with Employees of the Month. He was supposed to be the comic villain, but he managed to convince the people, I'm charming. People want to see me as a romantic lead. Nobody wants to see you, Dane Cook. Nobody wants to hear you, Dane Cook.
Dane Cook should die.
I wouldn't go as far as that, but if something was to happen to him and it was mildly funny, I would totally smile.
Painfully. I think I've used this illusion before, but pinned underneath a burning couch.
I was going to say cow, and I'd be like, okay, that's kind of interesting.
Well, the cow would work too, but then Dane Cook's presence would sour the meat. So, you're wasting a cow. Cows are expensive.
I think his death should be comical, because it'll be the only funny thing ever.
Well, pinned underneath...
That was the best singer!
But him pinned underneath the burning couch would also be funny, because the nice thing about the couch is you get the wires that are burning hot, but you also get, the padding that's, slowly, as it ignites, is dripping down on him, searing... I mean, it's hilarious. I mean... I've thought a lot about it.
And other good news...
It was a methane fire from his own fart, maybe. That's
You're playing it
even
blue.
even that
Yeah,
horrible
dude.
joke is still funnier than Dane Cook.
Yeah, I'll give it to you.
The best flaming fart joke we've had all night. In other good news, DreamWorks is going to be focusing more on sequels. They're going to be releasing like only 2 movies a year now. So that means, well, I mean, I guess sadly they're getting a Crude sequel, but and they're making High Train.
I saw Crudes. I watched it as soon as I looked at it, I was like, this is a caveman DreamWorks movie? And then I saw Nicolas Cage as a caveman. Yes. And it was as bad as I hoped. I don't put up a movie like that thinking, oh, this will be a treat. like I played.
Well, now you can watch the sequel. You can see if Nick Cage grows as a caveman and discovers fire or whatever the freak they were doing in that.
Yeah, it was a weird one. It wasn't the best animated movie, but that goes without saying. But Nicolas Cage was entertaining in it.
You can't even see his crazy face.
Oh, you can. They bring it out. Like it's one of those things where they take visual cues from the actor, and Nicolas Cage makes a pretty good caveman. He's a fun actor because he's so bad. Anyways,
He's bad and he knows it and just has fun with it.
he'll also do anything.
He
Like-
won't say no. He's
Yeah.
the opposite of that drug saying.
Yes, he's
He's like, yes, script.
I mean, he will literally do he's going to be here next week, to do Robo Pool Party and talk about why Trapped in Paradise was the greatest movie of all time, which I agree with. But the star power of Nicolas Cage, Dana Carvey, and John Lovitz, I'm sold.
We can sign for John Lovitz. We can sign for the critic.
I like John Lovitz.
I love John Lovitz. That's why I was like the
Haven't been
critic.
able to decipher Dana Carvey ever though. I mean,
People mourn for Dana Carvey. It's a difference.
most people only know him from Wayne's World.
I know him from Master of Disguise.
Yeah, I would say I would like to prevent that thing that didn't happen.
The second worst comedy I've ever seen.
What was the first, The Love Guru?
Little Man. The nerve to make a movie with 2 Wayans brothers and neither of them are Damon. It was just a horrible movie, but that's beside the point. We were talking about DreamWorks. We got massively sidetracked. So they're just going to make sequels now.
Yeah, sequels and 2 movies a year. So one of them could theoretically be an intellectual property, like a new property. But I think
But it's not like that.
I think they've been burnt too much, and there's going to be like I'm surprised they're not going to make a Madagascar movie. But I guess the Penguin movie failed so badly.
That seems weird because all the other Madagascar movies did well, I thought. And I've only seen the first 2, but I've heard that the third one's actually the best.
It only took 7 Christmas spin-offs for people to get sick of it.
That's probably fair because DreamWorks has a tendency to beat their stuff into the ground. Like Shrek is a great example.
Yeah, right there, Shrek 4.
Yeah.
I keep seeing something with the Puss in Boots. Is Puss in Boots getting a sequel?
Puss in Boots has a new show on Netflix.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, so does King Julian, the head lemur from Madagascar. It's like DreamWorks is like, hey, Netflix, we want to do some random shows for you. I haven't checked out either of them yet.
Are they even out yet?
Yeah, they're because I've seen them in my queue. It's like, do I watch the King Julian lemur show, or do I watch Always Sunny for the 30th time?
All right, so Simon Pegg has been will be co-writing Star Trek 3, and I have a lot of faith in Simon Pegg because he's produced a lot of great works, but I don't like the direction the studio is trying to take it. They're trying to make Star Trek Guardians of the Galaxy, and I think that's too far of a leap. I think anything that Simon Pegg could do that would be funny is not going to be Guardians of the Galaxy enough for the studio, so they're going to rewrite that even worse. I mean,
I've been thinking about it since we talked about it, because like we mentioned, it was going to be a topic we covered. We've talked about it before. I'm a big Trek fan. I feel that like classic Star Trek. When I say classic, I mean all the Star Trek shows that have been on TV are not compatible with the Guardians of the Galaxy format, because it's the whole science fiction versus science fantasy. I'm sounding super nerdy. It's science fiction versus science fantasy, you guys. And the problem is, whenever you take the science fantasy elements, like the big grand... And back to my point. The movies, however, the Star Trek movies, as bad as they can be, I think might be compatible.
You think so?
Because of that. because they've moved so far away from what Star Trek represents and what Star Trek should be, I think that'll actually work to their advantage. And it's kind of, I think that Trekkies and Trek fans should be upset about this news, but I think casual moviegoers and people that don't have an attachment to it should be happy.
So if you had to guess, do you think they're going to be putting anything out as even half as good as Guardians of the Galaxy, or do you think it'll be like as bad as Star Trek 2?
If I were to give it like a quality meter,
Yeah.
it'd definitely be below. It would be below Starship Troopers, which was a good movie. But yeah, like that's the level of quality. Like you're looking at a solid 5 or 6 out of 10. And yeah, like for me, like I'm losing my interest in it because they've proven they don't know how to produce a movie that Star Trek fans would really be into. And I think more to the point, they're not interested in doing that. They're more interested in having the name because everybody knows what Star Trek is in broad terms. Like the second movie, they tried to do all these nods to the Wrath of Khan, and they were all terrible. And more to the point, they were wildly unnecessary. The nice thing about Star Trek is a show about exploration, about expanding. Rehashing stuff that we already know about takes the charm out of Star Trek, because that was always one of the most fun things, that every new episode you're going to be having some weird mystery, and even if they had referential parts of episodes that we've already seen, it was still new and it was still exciting. Well, I'm taking this way too seriously.
No, keep going, dude. We're on a roll. I'd be like, hey, dude, quit being boring if you're going wrong.
But I guess that's kind of my point, in that the movies aren't Star Trek. They're something new. They're Abrams Trek. And I mean,
even Abrams Trek, he's like, I'm Splitsville, I'm making Jedi.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like he's out of there. Like, if people like it, fine. I don't consider it Star Trek. Even though I think some of the actors are quite good. Like we talked about Carl Urban as Bones, who nails it.
Speaking of Carl Urban,
okay,
there's rumors that he will be Ocean Master in the Aquaman movie.
Which, talk about wasting a talent. Like,
come on, he's gonna be all up against Khal Drogo or whatever his freaking name is.
Such a waste of talent. Carl Urban could be easily Batman. I'll say it, he could play Superman. I don't care. He could do it. He's a great actor. I mean, Ocean Master.
But it's Carl Urban versus Khal Drogo. I want to see the movie just for that.
I don't have an attachment to Khal Drogo.
Yeah, I don't watch Game of Thrones either.
I mean, I've seen it, but I was like, yeah, he's a big guy. Jason Momoa.
Hey, don't
His last name is a drink.
You're thinking of Mimosa, which would be way awesomer.
Jason Mimosa. All right.
Dude, okay, so like the last, or the Capital 10K, it's a race that comes up in April, the first weekend of April. There's a house that will have mimosas out for you as you're running by there.
Oh, so you just kind of get sloshed.
You could. I haven't stopped, but like every single time I was like, man, I totally would like a mimosa right now. But like, I don't know, I don't have a lot of faith for Aquaman because the best Aquaman was from The Brave and the Bold, the cartoon, because every other Aquaman totally sucks.
Just because every other Aquaman isn't voiced by John DiMaggio.
That is true.
Being his most John DiMaggio-ish.
Outrageous! Yes, dude, if it went in that direction, I'd be like, hell yeah, dude. But, no.
Speaking of, this is off our schedule, but speaking of John DiMaggio.
Yeah.
You know how sometimes at Comic-Cons they'll have, voice actors, and they'll be like, here, read this script in a random, in a character you play, even if it's a script from something else. They'll do Star Wars readings and stuff. Me and my roommate were just talking about two things that have been floating around. One of them, they're both My Little Pony related, so settle in. One was they had the woman who voices GLaDOS from Portal reading a couple lines. But more to the point of what I wanted to bring up, is there's a line where there's a villainous pony named Trixie, and they had John DiMaggio read her lines in his Bender voice. And it's fantastic. And yeah, I think if you Google just the great and powerful Bender, it'll come up because somebody's taken his lines and dubbed it over the animation in the show. It's great. Because it's just, I don't know.
There you go. Smiles It's miles all the way. That's way better than an Aquaman movie that's gonna tank.
Oh yeah, Aquaman movie's gonna be bad, really bad. It's gonna be moistly bad.
What's the deal with all the moist hate? Where'd this come from?
Well, because moist is a word you can't really use and mean anything decent.
Cake.
Aquaman makes the lady.
Cake.
You see? Now we gotta bleep that.
Cake. I've only heard as a kid from up until I knew what sex was. I've only heard moisture describe cake.
I think calling cake moist is something that only old ladies do.
Well, you know what? Cake is yummy.
It is yummy, but
I totally would go for some moist cake right now.
When I think of moist,
have you had tres leches cake?
I was just about to bring that up. When I think of moist cake, I think about the weird, gross water cakes that you guys have here in Austin. I'm not into them.
Are you for reals? You don't like tres leches cake?
They are pretty gross.
You see? Bam.
Oh my god, dude! It's the greatest stuff in the world.
It's like a milk sponge.
Given I also don't like pie, I am very odd.
You see, pie is fantastic, but
wow, dude! I never thought I'd meet one person that didn't like tres leches cake, but I've met two. This is the weirdest thing in the world, man.
Wasn't a fan.
Wow, dude. Dude, my faith in humanity is kaput, dude. You might as well tell me Dane Cook is president.
I thought you were gonna say you might as well tell me Dane Cook is pregnant.
Dane Cook is pretty moist right now.
Dane Cook is pregnant with Dane Cook's baby.
I wouldn't be surprised if anybody could do it, it'd be him. Or anybody would do it, it'd be him.
Going into a weird place. Again, 11:30 midnight.
No sleep.
I used to play D&D with a guy that would lose his mind at 2 in the morning. And it would be like flipping a switch.
Really?
He would be totally normal, one of the most normal guys in the world, and then 2 in the morning started, and some of the most random, bizarre stuff would pop out of his mind. Stuff that made you afraid to walk home at night. It was weird. It was 2 o'clock, Pandora's box is going to open in Bob's head, and just all of the chaos in the universe is going to spill out. A lot of the stuff I can't actually
say.
Obviously,
because...
But yeah, weird. It was 2 o'clock every time we played.
That's crazy.
The witching hour in one man's mind.
Alright, so here's the part of the show where Joe gets to critique my comics, and we have a twist, actually.
We're gonna mix it up.
We're gonna mix it up.
To quote the greatest show in the world, Always Sunny, we give it the Shyamalan twist.
The Shyamalan, ironic. Alright, so here's my one comic I got for Joe. Like I said, I wanted to buy more, but I don't know if Marvel's going to be doing anything anymore.
Fair enough. Save your money.
Yeah.
Alright, so let's see what we got from Matt. Justice League with, Starro.
I don't know if Starro's in there, because you know how they do those variant covers, and you're not
okay.
sure?
So we don't know if it's Starro or if it's just a big tease.
Yeah. I haven't had a chance to read it.
Okay, I won't spoil it, but I am going to flip through for Starro.
But, Justice League right now is in the situation where Lex Luthor, due to the result of his popularity as saving the universe in the Forever Evil, has kind of bullied himself onto the team. And, up until that point, before he bullied himself on the Justice League, I was like, you know what, I'm done with DC, I'm just going to move on. And then I'm like, wait, he's on? Okay, so you got my opinion, my attention for a little bit longer. So that was literally the saving grace for DC, was Lex Luthor in the Justice League. And we'll see how that goes. Interesting enough is that a Justice League is, I guess, delayed or on a really terrible schedule, because I've read other books where they're like, we finally got that Luthor smell out of the Watchtower. So I'm like, well, I knew that was going to happen. I knew he was going to stay forever, but I liked the ride.
Captain Cold made his way in there too.
Yeah, well, you took that.
He's in this.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, alright, well, it's Justice League.
It's Justice
You know
League.
you're
Forever
getting.
Evil was good. Mm-hmm. You may disagree. I thought it was actually good.
I liked Forever Evil. There were certain parts I didn't like. I thought the
Arkham Wars was bad.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That just drug on forever. I did like the Rogues.
That was great. Argus was alright.
I'd read any
It
Argus.
wasn't amazing, but it was it added to the story, and it was nice to see a story revolving around Steve Trevor.
Yeah, I don't think Steve Trevor. Yeah.
Steve Trevor's a way. I prefer Trevor Steve.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, no, what's the
Process
guy from?
that.
What was
for
the
a
guy?
while.
What was the name from Arrested Development? Steve Holt or whatever.
Steve Holt.
Steve Holt. That's what I was trying to do. I was like, what was the freaking name?
All right. You ready for my list?
Let's see what we got.
Now, some of these you're gonna know. The very bottom one is like, the cover will tell you, the back cover will tell you what it is.
Okay.
But so, anyways, like I usually don't buy comics. When I do, I prefer stuff that I'm either familiar with or stuff that's like a one shot, because I don't like buying like week after week after week after week. So we'll give this a shot. We'll see how the first ever of my comic purchases goes.
I like this ad on the back because it's got all this inner nerd and it says keep calling buy garbage.
It's for Garbage Pail Kids.
Yep.
It's like the back advertisement.
But My Little Pony.
You knew it was
Friendship is
coming.
Yeah, I did. IDW. Friendship is mad. Is that Indiana Jones thing she's going for?
I think it's just a
Cowboy.
cowboy theme because that's Applejack. She's the cowboy pony.
I didn't know they had different jobs.
They all have different jobs.
How are you not going to show it to the camera?
Yeah, show it to the
camera,
It's a beautiful
My Little
cover.
Pony. Oh, this is fat for $4.
Yeah, IDW. And look through it. Look how many ads you see within the actual pages of the book.
She looks kind of Cthulhu-ish.
She's holding a rope. You and your Cthulhu theme, dude.
Like, compare that to DC or Marvel, where
there
like,
is considerably less ads. Like,
Yeah.
considerably less ads.
Huge fan of IDW because of stuff like that. I mean, like, I like the artwork. I like the writing. They have the coolest franchises. Actually, one thing I looked for, I guess it's not out yet, but they're actually rebooting Mighty Mutanimals. You're looking. You don't know.
I don't know.
Nobody knows what that is. That was an offshoot of the Ninja Turtles. It had like people like Ray Fillet, who was like the Man Ray, Wingnut and Screwloose.
I'm familiar with them.
Jaguar, yeah. It's just they're doing like it's not the same Mutanimals as like new ones from their new comic, but I'm definitely gonna look for that whenever it comes out.
Well, I've always meant to give the Transformers a try, but there's like 4 different books going on.
Yeah, it's a little daunting.
It's there's no. You're like, what? Well, who do I go for? Like, one of them that I wanted to pick up had a big old picture of Ultra Magnus on it, right? And Ultra Magnus on that book cover says, "I warn you, you're in violation of some sort of law by putting a comic book character that on the cover that doesn't appear in the comic book." So I'm like, "Oh, you just told me the one draw to this comic book character is not in there." And I was like, "Okay, thanks."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yeah, it's just intimidating." I love Transformers. I love Transformers a lot. I love Generation 1 Transformers, and I like what the art in IDW. It looks fantastic, but it's just like there's nowhere to start. Too many. Like if they were to cut down like on a core book or something. I mean, I don't want to tell them quit making so much money. I mean, because apparently it's doing well if it can support 4 books. But like something, dude, like Transformers Basic in really big letters or something. Start here. Something so that people can get into it. So like, yeah, dude, I've always wanted to give. I mean, I'm not gonna fault you on ponies. I know people really like them. I mean, making fun of bronies is like a guilty pleasure, but I've actually seen a couple of stories is like where bronies came together to help kids die from cancer and doing all sorts of wonderful.
And it's also like we discussed this before. Like, I mean, I like My Little Pony and I like Star Trek, but I don't consider myself a brony or a Trekkie because I don't like
that. IE matters.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like when somebody or just like the Whovians and stuff like that. Like if you're considering your entire culture based on your fandom, a little much. But anyways, next one.
Mega Man. Oh, neat.
Now, I read the early issues of Mega Man, and I'm not sure how long it's going on, but I picked this one up specifically because every villain on it, or on the cover at least, is from Mega Man 3, which was my favorite one. Even though I know technically it wasn't the best game, it was just my favorite. I love the Robot Masters, I love the level design, the music was great. And looking through it, yeah, these are all 3 villains.
Oh yeah,
Let me show the cover.
This looks really cool. I always forget that they have a kids section. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just
some neat stuff.
Yeah, it's off the corner, and like every once in a while I'll be like, oh yeah, I should see what Finn and Jake. Like I remember trying to catch all the Marceline and the Scream Queens and stuff like that. So like I remember taking that down. So I always forget, and then like sometimes like on weeks like this when nothing comes out, I should just give them a spot to see what was going on.
This next one is the very first issue of it, and if it's good, I'm totally going to pick it up because it's based on a movie that was awesome.
Okay, Machikoro is the name of the game on the back.
Yes.
This is Galaxy Quest. I like the movie too. I like the movie too. I was actually Sarah asked me why I didn't pick that up, and I was like, well, couldn't really give it a. I don't know.
The art looks nothing like the cast.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I enjoyed the movie a
The movie
lot.
was so good.
Was that the Tim Allen Never Give Up,
Yeah.
Never
Yes.
Surrender?
That was the one that was just 2 hours of making fun of Star Trek in the best possible way, in a way that fans of it could really appreciate. And it was a solid movie beyond all that crap. But yeah.
And was it Jonathan Frakes convinced Captain Picard to see it? And he was like, when he finally saw it, I was like, this movie was so good.
Yes, I think I remember that story.
Yeah, I mean, it looks
I
good.
just want Jonathan Frakes to hang around me and suggest I do stuff and show me how to sit on chairs in the proper way.
The proper way.
He has the leg over style. He approaches a chair from behind, leg over. It's weird.
Oh, this could be a lot of fun. Let me know if it's any good. But I was gonna try it. And this, how are you gonna go wrong with this, dude?
Read the back, I mean, I like Army of Darkness to begin with, but read the back description.
Ash has been to hell and back. He lost the woman he loved and battled his evil clone. But despite all these trials, nothing can prepare him for the terror of the Comic-Con. When a cosplay sorcerer takes his magic role-playing a little bit too far, Ash has to team up with a trio of comic readers to save the con and New York City from a Deadite invasion.
Yes.
Is it a one-shot?
It's a one-shot. That was another reason that appealed to me.
For the Dynamite.
It's 48 pages, yeah. I mean, it's Army of Darkness, It's comic form of Bruce Campbell for 50 pages. I'm happy with that.
Have you seen, what was the one where they thought Bruce Campbell was real, so they kidnapped him and took him to,
Oh, I heard about that.
it was really funny. Did you read his books, The Confessions of a Chin?
No, I didn't.
He's got books that are hilarious. Dude. They're everything you expect. I don't know if he used a ghostwriter or not, but either way, they were very, very good. One was like semi-autobiographical,
Okay.
like him self-depreciating and stuff like that. One was a little bit more serious, but he was fantastic. And remember when he was the Old Spice guy? He's literally the second best Old Spice guy we've had.
Yeah, well, man, all the Old Spice guys have been great. I've had to take my glasses off twice during that.
This has been a very emotional episode.
It's been draining.
Need a hug?
I could use one, but not from either of you.
Ouch, see my self-esteem like
What
this.
about Aquaman's one-eyed sea monster?
We go right back.
Yeah.
We go right back to his enormous.
Now who's focusing on it?
All right, we should probably do a closer.
A closer. Yeah.
All right. How much time we got? We got time for a closer?
We got
You
plenty of time.
have 3.5 minutes.
Oh, plenty.
I prefer the awkward silence or the mouth organ. I really like Craig Ferguson, but
I'm not getting this reference. Did you watch Craig Ferguson at all? I just know that the guy from Mythbusters built him a robot.
Yes, the freaking skeleton robot.
yes, Jeff, the gay skeleton robot host.
I prefer Andy Richter, but whatever works. All right. You ready?
Do you remember that show that Andy Richter had like the
Andy
five-
Richter controls the universe.
No, the one where he had 5 brothers, 5 twin brothers. It was like siblings or something like that. It was him playing 5 identical twins.
Wait, was that the one with like the people in the plotline? No, I don't know what you're talking about.
He played. I think he played a bunch of roles in a movie called Big Trouble, which is a Tim Allen movie, and that was fun.
That was based on a book
Dave
by
Barry.
Dave Barry that was
Yeah.
hilariously awesome. And then Big Trouble, nobody saw it because it had a bomb and it made the tea.
Well, the problem was that it was about a bomb on a plane, and it literally debuted. It was scheduled to debut a week after 9/11, or it was super close to 9/11. It was either a week
Yeah.
before or a week after, and you're just not recovering from that in sales.
It had Jason Lee in it.
Jason Lee.
It was fantastic.
A lot of people were in it. Dennis Farina.
Oh, he's everything.
Is
Good luck finding a movie he's not in.
Omar Epps. Omar Epps is right up there in Carl Urban territory for me. Yeah, deal with it.
It's been dealt with.
Deal with that knowledge.
Filed away and up with Kyle Urban right here.
Anyways, okay.
We digress quite a bit. But anyway, you should give Big Trouble a shot.
Big Trouble's a great movie. Janine Garofalo. Yeah, there's a lot of great people in it. Okay,
I'm sure the kid grew up to be somebody too. I'm pretty sure the kid grew up to be somebody.
I have no idea. That kid grew up to be Tim Allen.
There's a weird Inception thing going on.
Okay. Well, everybody, that's our show for
If
this.
it was Tim Allen, wouldn't he have warned his kid not to do the cocaine thing?
He probably would have warned the kid not to do a lot of
It
bad
sounds-
decisions.
It sounds more like what was the movie about that Benjamin Button?
Yes, that like in Big Trouble, it was Tim Allen aging backwards. Like he did all the adult roles like 1 week, and then he did all the kid roles a week after. Anyways, everybody, thank you very much for joining.
I want to see this hypothetical movie now.
I can't end the show. It's a show that I'm gonna flip the tape.
The show that'll never end.
The show that'll never end.
Well, it's the Elephant Show with the song will never end.
There
Okay,
is a comic I would
subscribe,
like to buy.
like, comment. Thank you guys. Cuts.